Hi guys, it's Jeanette with Our Background Creations. Come on in. Let me know that you're here, where you're watching from. Just gonna find my comments so I can read what you're saying. Because the eyeballs are getting bad. There we go. Hi Tracy. I missed you this morning, but I caught a little bit as I was cleaning. Hi Linda. How are you this morning? So today is all about Dollar Tree Fun Day Craft. So for mine, if you were in Kim Marie's right before me, she had the exact same thing as I did. So I even had the same feet as her. Hi Mary Schneider, how are you, friend? So it's not exactly like hers. So I'm running around my room trying to get things different. Not that it's bad to see two different things the same way, but hi Kelly, hi Darla, how are you? Hi Sue from Mississippi. All right, so we're going to paint our Dollar Tree cutting board. Now, my husband, in his infinite wisdom, hi Laura, I'm from Ohio too. When he got his laser, thought, I'm gonna go buy a bunch of these. Hi Pat. So we have this huge stack of the Dollar Tree cutting boards. And they don't laser very well at all. Bamboo does not laser well. I tried to talk him in. Hi Fatima. Hi Nita. I tried to talk him into just buying a couple, see if it works, but no, he had to go all in. So I have lots of these. Hi Teresa. I have lots of these to do whatever I want with. Because I tell him if it stays in his room more than 30 days, it's dibs. Because my husband has his own craft room. Oh, that one's hard for me this morning. Hi Cheryl, how are you? It's getting a little warm today. It's not supposed to be as warm as yesterday, so that is a good thing. Just putting a little heat on my big jar of paint here. Because, hi Lisa. It's a little hard for me this morning. I'm from Ohio too, Teresa. Thank you. For heavens to Betsy. Now yesterday I opened them all up and made sure I could open them all before my live started. But these I did not. Hi Jamie. Thank you for sprinkling. Hi, Anita. Come on in, everybody. So mine's going to be a little bit similar to Kim Marie's, but enough different. You know, great minds think alike. More rain coming. Next 4 days. Do I have another black open? Hold. Hold your horses. Black, black, black. I don't think I have. Oh! We're just going to kick this one to the curb. I've been trying to wipe off the tops, put Vaseline on them. I haven't used this one in a while, so I'll have to stir it up. I used to keep some downstairs. Upper Michigan. Hi, Gail. Hi, Deb. This is a Hello Hobby midnight color. So it's not quite black, but for our purposes, it will be just fine. Ooh, that one's really gonna have to get wiped up. Have you seen these great big craft sticks at Walmart? They're huge. I love them, especially to mix up paint. Hi, Colleen. Hi, Sheila. that right there. I usually use them a couple times before I throw them away. I just wipe off my paint and get it all over me. Listen, it's been a hot mess express here this morning. Have to get out the wipes already. Turn on the glue gun. I forgot that I didn't forget, but I was like, last night I had my entire table covered in quilt blocks. And I went downstairs. Normally at night I just leave my table as is and go to bed. I got downstairs, looked at my calendar, and I went, oh crap, my fun day Friday is in the morning. So I was up here by 8 a.m. getting it all ready. Aw, thank you, Fatima. I like to use these so I can get the sides. They're little paint pointers. Floyd and I used to use boards that had nails or screws through them. So don't feel you have to go out and buy them. But it allows you to get to the side better. We're going to do some more crackling today. Comments, there we go. My comments were blocked. And I love all those pop-ups that come up on your screen. Now I'm just going to paint the one side. Because I am making a riser just like Kim Marie did. But in a little bit different way. You can hand 12 crafters the exact same materials and you're going to get 12 different projects. Because while we may think alike sometimes, there's always that little bit difference. Let's see if I can get this. So if you were with me yesterday afternoon, I did a big home sign. And I didn't end up putting resin on it. But I did put DecoArt's Triple Thick. It's like a really, really thick gloss glaze on it. Yep, it is true. Everybody's got their own taste. Even if we were all primitive, we'd still end up with 12 different things. They might be similar in ways, but not always. Okay. I've been going through a lot. Hey, Sissy, how you been? I haven't seen you in a little bit. We're going to go through a lot of baby wipes. Okay. So we're going to let that dry. Push. We're just going to let it dry for a moment. And I have some half beads. And then I got the little feet, just like Kim Marie did. I was going to stencil it, and I thought, I didn't find a stencil that would fit it the way I wanted. So I'm just putting some tape down. So we can put, I should have had these on here. Hi Brenda, how are you? When I worked as a manager, most of you know Walmart, I was actually a loss prevention manager. So I had a lot going on in my mind, and everybody'd say, why do you walk around looking so mean? I'm like, I got tons on my head. Got a lot on in my brain going on. But my dad was the same way. Hi, Kim Marie. So we're going to put, I don't know how many, but I don't know if I want to do, maybe I'll do black, because we're going to crackle our board, our cutting board. I haven't tried to use the, listen, I have been in Dollar Tree forever. Oh, interesting. Do you have a page, Suzanne, that you post your pictures to? I'd love to see that. I've been working on a couple ideas for some stained glass looking stuff. Because Lord help me, I would not be able to cut stain. Okay, so yeah, we're going to do these in black, but I don't think I want that great big brush. So we're just going to use, and this has got kind of a blue undertone to it, so it's not quite black, which is fine. Because my black wasn't cooperating this morning. It didn't want to open. I think I'll have to put some Vaseline on that lid. Hope everybody's had a good week. And even if it rains, I hope you find something good to get into. This is where I will be all weekend. I try to do my chores. I either do my chores first thing in the morning, and I'm up here the rest of the day, or I'm up here first thing in the morning, and then I come down about supper time and do all my stuff. Is it Aletta? Oh, you don't have a page? I would love to see them, Suzanne. I'm gonna have to go in. I was using the lid, but I don't think it's gonna fly right. My board's getting dry over there. I do have a fan off camera moving around. So it's June. Is anybody going on vacation? I know a lot of people go on vacation in June. One of my granddaughters was here for a week, but tomorrow is her birthday. We celebrated with her while she was here. Girl wanted to go to Hobby Lobby, so we had to oblige her. Hey Patty, how are you? Good morning, Teresa. So we painted some half blocks. I think there's some, ooh. I don't want to paint that because I don't want to get paint where I'm going to glue. So let's try this a little bit more. Okay, so what Lisa's talking about, and if you want to go see it and have a good laugh, it was yesterday. Oh, thank you, Sissy. Towards the end of my live, I would say it's the last 10 minutes, wouldn't you say, Lisa? I had rocks, these crushed rocks that I was using in my craft, and I kept going like this and looking at my project, and I go, oh, I almost put my hand in my Mod Podge, and then I turned around and did it. I should have moved it, but I didn't. Right, Suzanne? I used to have to go about 50 minutes to a Hobby Lobby, and a couple years ago, a little more than a couple years, they built one about 30 minutes away where we go to all the shopping. There's too many people up there for me, but we'll dry those in a minute. Okay. I'm unstuck. My husband, these are his. And he has a set of 8. So I snuck them. He goes, why do I see my paint pointers in your room? I'm like, you're not using them? Okay, so we're going to put the glue. I like to crackle with Elmer's glue. Oh, it was, I should make, oh, you know what? I should do a short. You don't see me stick my hand in it, but when I brought it out, I went, yeah, I did it. It was priceless. So that was definitely an oops moment. And it'll be the last. Here's what I made. This is what I made yesterday. Isn't it pretty? I gotta put another coat on it. But, yeah. You have to laugh. Oh, yeah. So what was funny was when I started my Facebook page, I was making wreaths. So I was ordering my supplies online. And then I started putting a lot of embellishments in them. Yeah, I'm a messy Marvin. And so he says, well, the reason we went up towards the one that was 50 miles away when it was only the first one, my husband had bought me a pick machine online on Facebook Marketplace, and we had to go up that way. He goes, well, let's stop by Hobby Lobby. I had never been in one. Oh, Jackie, she paints, she crochets. Well, both my granddaughters crochet. The little one, the younger one's just learning, and the older one is quite well. We're just going to dry this just a tiny bit. It was a good blooper, that's for sure. But you can't get mad. You know, if you want to get mad at yourself, do it later off camera. I just laughed as I wiped it all off my hands. Okay, so now we're going to put white on top. Now, I found, as of the other day, if I use, you know what, I'm not going to use the chalk paint. Let's use Apple Barrel. But that girl, she likes rocks. She likes, oh my gosh, she spent the most of her money on beads to make bracelets and necklaces. But she goes in that aisle that's got like all the pretties, and it's just like, she just spent like probably 45 minutes in there. But she's frugal with her money. She's very frugal. And, you know, most of the jewelry, hey Kim, how are you? Most of the jewelry was half off. So she kept asking Grandpa, because, you know, Grandma went to the fabric department. She kept asking Grandpa how much something was, because, you know, $4.99. Okay, so we're going to just put one thin coat. We'll do the side too. Because when my crackle fails, I feel like I have put too thick of a top on it. My top color. And don't go in two directions. I have so many different crackle mediums, but I can't get them to work right. I either use school glue or Mod Podge to do my crackle. And I have a gallon of each. So, I can tell it's getting warm. Oh well, I'll leave it. Now, let's crackle. Quite right. So she starts shopping, and then she's like, how much money do I have? And I told her, she's like, oh, wow. So she was a happy camper on the way home. Ooh, I get little crackles. Depending on what I'm doing, I mostly like the little crackles. Sometimes I like them real big. And then where it's thick, where I cross my lines, try not to do that. But I haven't got to watch. I kind of skipped through some people's lives this morning after they had already been live. Okay, I'm going to let that go. There's still a little bit of thick spots wet, but we'll move on to our beads. I may have to paint some more. Not sure how many I want to use, but we're going to put them in the corner. Whoop. Yep, I just used good old glue. This one's got a white spot on it. First, I'm going to put them in the corners. Yeah, so if you want to go watch my blooper, like I said, you don't see me stick my hand in there, but it's right after. Because I was looking and grabbing, and away it went. And I did. I laughed. Listen, we only get one life. I'm not going to spend it getting mad at myself, or I try not to get mad at others. The Green Goblin always comes out once in a while. Especially if they come after my grandkids. Don't bother my grandkids. My kids are all old enough to fend for themselves. But I do like the crackle. In fact, I like the crackle too much, but can't crackle everything. Well, I guess you can. It's your craft. So I'm going to start with 5 on each side. I will have to paint some more. Come on. The tape's working good, that's for sure. My husband, I keep trying to, there's a riser. I'll take a picture of it and post it. I want him to make some more. He made me one. He said he's got to find a different way to do it because it was pretty messy. The Green Goblin. Yes, ma'am. It's really, really rustic. It's just got big, tall, square legs. It's probably about the same size as my Dollar Tree craft cutting board, but it's thick, and he's got like, it's just got grooves in it, like it's really ancient. I love it. But he's got to figure a different way to make them, because it would not be time effective to make them the way he made that one. One thing if you're making just a one-off for yourself or a gift, but if you want to make them to sell them, that's a whole nother story. Okay, I've got one, I have 3 left. Let's go ahead and I'll have to paint one more. That needs a touch-up. I bought a bag thinking I was getting bigger ones, but it came with 2 different sizes, which is fine. Okay, we gotta paint one more to put right there, then that'll be good. My white paint is real thick in 2 spots. That's the thing about crackling on a live. You got to get it dry. I have a son that stands on principle. And, I mean, he's in his 30s. He ought to know better. But sometimes he'll go, I hate my job. I said, well, you know, I've hated some of mine too. He goes, it should not be this way. And I'm like, okay. But it's their business. He goes, I'm going to tell them. And I'm like, I wouldn't if you want your job. He done something one day at work, said something to a supervisor. I go, and they didn't fire you? Or write you up or anything? He goes, no. And I said, I'd have fired you. Because I was a manager. Not at where he works, but... Okay. So here's what we got so far. He's like, Mom? I'm like, hey. Just saying. They sent me on overnights for a while, and to get them together. Oh, I should have put my legs on first. Oh well. I think I want to do the legs white. I think. Oh, they have a hole. Oh, it's not all deep, very deep. See, if it was deep, I could put a dowel rod through it. But it's not. Hey, Yolanda. Oh, my son was spouting off, telling me what he told his supervisor. And I asked him if he got fired or wrote up. He said no, and I said, I'd have fired you. He was like, Mom, I'm sorry about your luck. They used to make me fire people. I'm like, really? Or at least be in the room. I had a couple guys get really nasty with the manager. Or I'd have them say, I can't believe you're going to fire me for my daughter being in the hospital. I said, all right, let's look at your attendance here. You called off here, 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 and here. So what was going on? I didn't feel good. I said, there's lots of days I don't feel good, but I still come to work. I said, could you have come to work to save your daughter? Yeah, well, that's what got you. Well, I heard a guy, I walked out of the room and I heard somebody call me something. So I went back in the room and gave him a what for. There was 3 guys in the room, so I couldn't really prove who said it. It was the B word. And all I said to him was, you're going to wish I didn't hear that. So those 3 had to be on their toes. I used to have shoes that made a noise when I walked, and I had a bunch of keys on my hip so they could hear me walking. So when I changed shoes and would hold my keys, they're like, you're cheating. Because the kids unloading the truck were always into stuff. Oh yeah, I like, I have done one a couple times where you take a round, 2 rounds, and you put beads all around and put the other round on top, and then I put flowers and foam in it. It was really cool. I should make another one of those. Or you can do it with squares. I like to work with florals. I probably did, Mary. One of my jobs, I did call out a manager because he was calling me that, and it got back to me. I walked right in the office with him and the store manager and said, if you think I'm a beep, you haven't seen nothing yet. He called the district manager on me. I'm like, you big crybaby. I scared him, that was why. Okay, so I'm going to try and do this because I don't want to flip it over on its... Ooh, I can stand it up. Yep, that's exactly right. They fire themselves. And the most thing we fired people for was attendance and stealing. Stealing was my department. I had to fire some really good people because they got stingy or got in a space where they felt they had to steal. Hi, Liz. We're talking 15, 16, 18-year associates. It's sad. One of them was groceries. I mean, like a whole cart full of groceries. And I'm like, you know, any one of us, if you said you'd had issues paying for your medicine and couldn't afford groceries, you know we would have taken care of you. I didn't want to ask. Hey, Brenda, how are you? There we go. See, we got 15 minutes. Woo woo. So I just painted my little feet white. I seen one where somebody put, you know, the little shapes at Christmas time, the snowmen, the angels and all that. They used the snowmen. And I'm like, that's a really good idea. So I come up here and was digging through all my wood stuff. But I didn't have a snowman. I had the little angels, but they had the wings on them. I don't think that would have looked right. Ooh, I missed a lot on that one. Here, lean up against that. I should have put the feet on first, but that's okay. We got her done. Maybe. I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to start on fall already. Yeah, that's what they've done. The snowman upside down for feet. These are actual little, well, they're the Finials. You can use beads. You can use a lot of stuff. Jenga blocks, the Jenga blocks from Dollar Tree. Floyd did some with just little squares of wood. It is, Brenda. And I felt bad. I mean, because I won't say I was friends with them. I was friendly with them. But, you know, the two of them, of the older ladies, just hugged me when they left. They're like, just thank you for not, you know, screaming at me or making a spectacle out of me. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. Remember the one year I had to fire one of my associates. 20-year associate. Oh, I was so mad. And she's my neighbor. Up the road here. Okay. How you liking that? Got the feet. So I don't know that it needs any more rounds. Do you think it needs more rounds? I mean, we could paint some. Got about 10 more minutes. Oh, I stuck my arm in the paint. Oh yeah, my mom gave me a little bag of corks. We have a lot of wineries here in Ohio, wonder if I went out to one of the wineries and asked them if I could have a bunch of corks. I don't know if they give them to me or not. I mean, we have a lot of winery out here. So I had these. They're basically pegs or finials. I was going to cut off that little part. Those would have been real tall ones. I have the knobs that are actually a knob and not a ball. And I would have had to drill holes for those. Had the ones, this is the one I used. And then I have little ones. That's all that. And then here's a tip for you. Always cut out your label and put it in. I didn't always do it. I just started doing it. Put it in with your, if you don't leave them in their package, put it in your container with it so you'll know what size they are. I usually get mine at Hobby Lobby or there's a Amish lumber yard that sells everything underneath the sun. Think of Home Depot and Lowe's having a baby, and Hobby Lobby is their stepkid. It's that amazing. Oh yeah, we got one probably about 10 miles from me. I think I'm going to call them. I know a few people that go, I don't like wine. It's just a thing I don't like. But what can we do? Oh, we could finish painting it. That's what we could do. I missed a part on the legs. Oh, I missed two parts. When they have so many, well, my gosh, I missed a lot on there. Which one was it? This one? Nope, this one. I didn't paint the bottom because, you know, you probably won't see it. If I was to sell any kind of riser, I would always finish the bottom. The risers that we sold, they were only like this tall off the table. Sometimes you just want something just a slight bit, you know, slight bit higher in the back. See glue. But I think the crackle came out really good. But we could paint this while we're waiting. Hey Deborah, how are you? So I'm not live at all this weekend. I think I'm gonna tackle a closet. I've been going room by room, tackling closets. I still gotta do underneath our bed. How many people shove stuff underneath your bed and then they forget about it? Me. I know I have a very ornate, antique mirror frame, an oval one. One guy that worked for my husband decided one day when he was filling up his work truck to have his wife pull up. Wow. Wow. All for a tank of gas. But I bet you they've done it before. They just got caught that time. Because like when somebody would steal, I mean, we're not in a small town, maybe 14,000 people. But if we would lose somebody at the door, and I'm like, they'll be back. They did it once, they'll do it again. Especially this time of year, air conditioners fly out. People just put them in a cart, walk out the front door. If there's somebody standing at the door, they have somebody else go talk to them or wait until they walked away for a second. And I've seen a lot of shenanigans over the years. It was... I wasn't the actual person that walked the floor, but I was the manager. But if I was needed, I would go out to the floor. And we were following these two girls one day, 3 hours. 3 hours. And they went into clothing. They'd always go into clothing. And they forgot they were carrying fishing poles right upside, up and down. So I just watched the fishing poles go through the clothing department. I'm like, never said a thief was smart. So, a pole, do you guys, if you were to use a riser, would you use one that's low to the table or high? What do you think? I tend to like them high. If I'm going to raise something up, I want it raised for, a good bit. You took it early to retirement. So did I, just without benefits. What can you retire at now? 62? Or 62 and a half or something? So I got a lot of replays already to watch. I caught most of Jamie's. Alright, we got most of the bottom done. You could put another coat on it, but I'll probably just use this riser anyway. Depends on what you're putting on it. Yeah. I kind of like higher ones. Like, do I have it up here? Oh, well, it's over here in the corner holding my... I got to get my Alexa hooked up. Like, I make risers like that. So you can see it back in the... in the background. I have an Alexa downstairs, and then I have the Dot. I want to be able to holler down at Floyd. Or more like he'll holler up at me. He just texts me. Then half the time I don't see it. And he'll say, I've been texting you, and I'm like, I wasn't listening. I was busy. You retired at 62 with your Social Security? Yeah. I think, hindsight 2020, the bigger half beads might have done... We're going to start early. These were a little bit bigger. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think the bigger ones might have been better? I don't know. Maybe either one. But anyway, so I think I don't know if there's an event on Craft Around the Clock this weekend. I think it's next weekend. I can't remember. But if Suzanne's still here, I'd love to see a picture of your glass art, faux glass art projects. I'm trying to think of something different to do. Like, I need another craft, but it is what it is. If you like to do different things, you like to do different things, and that I do. I'm trying to set my sewing machine up to where she couldn't get a man. Wow. True. That's right. Okay, I couldn't remember if it was this weekend or next weekend. So, Fab 4 will have an event in Craft Around the Clock. Don't forget to join. Hey, Mary Claire. I'm just finishing up, hon, but we made a little riser out of a Dollar Tree cutting board. Don't forget to make sure you join any of your friends. And if you see any of my friends on here with the little blue you follow after their name, give them a follow. That's free. You can set, if you don't like the inundated notifications, you can set it to where you don't get notified for everything. And then you can go about your business. But we love when our followers follow us and get us some friends to come follow us. Thanks, Mary. That's what she said. All right, guys. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me. Make sure to refresh your Craft Around the Clock page and see who our next creator is all day long. All right. Catch you later. Bye-bye.